I started Naughty 4 years back. Honestly, it came just when we were stepping out of the COVID phase. But what was our USP as wedding planners was always concepts.
In 20 years, what is that most unique experience you have created for a client?
Lots of them actually. They wanted to do a musical instead of doing a family sangeet.
Oh, nice.
So I was really excited, and they were as clear as we wanted to be based on Radha Krishna. They actually take me for a venue recce before they pay up to the venue to understand if I can do what I am selling to them.
Yeah. It is no less than making a cinema.
I have never tried pushing a client to take something just because it's trending.
Welcome to India's Best Wedding Makers, a platform that brings together the leaders, creators, and storytellers, shaping some of the world's most extraordinary celebrations. I'm your host, Pamela Bhutoria, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this fantastic conversation. Today's conversation is especially exciting because we are diving into what truly defines the energy of a wedding experience, the emotion and the moments that bring people together. Our guest today is someone who has played a defining role in transforming modern wedding experiences in India. Manisha Parekh has long been a celebrated name in the world of luxury weddings and live experiences. With a background in fashion, entertainment, and stagecraft, she brought a unique understanding of emotions, performances, and visual storytelling into the wedding space. Welcome to the show, Manisha.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited.
I'm very excited because there's so much I want to speak to you. So, Manisha, the first thing which I want to ask you, because I know your association with weddings has been very long.
Yep.
How long it's been?
So 25 years in this industry. This year is my 26th year into events, and 15 years of wedding planning and 4 years of the entertainment design company. So this total
years,
of 26
20.
years.
But
Yeah.
you also did something with weddings earlier.
Yes.
What did you do?
Those were the days when we didn't have that many professional wedding planners. So as an anchor, I used to just get, that extended job by clients because there were not many planners, which is a couple of companies. So most of the times the clients would call us directly. So they would then take suggestions from us. So I used to get into managing things for them without knowing that there could actually be somebody who will pay me for it. And then we got into wedding planning. Then I reached a saturation point in that, and I said, let's just focus on one thing, and that's how entertainment design happened.
So you did bit and pieces of it all.
Yeah. But I mastered each of them before I moved to the next. That I'm very clear. सब कुछ थोड़ा थोड़ा नहीं करना है, but सब कुछ try जरूर करना है.
Yeah. When did you start in Naughty?
I started Naughty 4 years back. Honestly, it came just when we were stepping out of the COVID phase. And I felt that Mumbai market, as for me at least as a wedding planner, I felt that we had reached a certain point and there was only that much that I could have done. But what was our USP as wedding planners was always concepts and themes that we would give our clients. So we decided to extend that at a B2B level instead of just limiting it to our clientele. And that's how we started Naughty, that okay, let's have a bigger market, a bigger opportunity, and not necessarily every client of yours will understand the importance of entertainment design. They will understand importance of an artist, but they may not be able to understand what niche entertainment design stands for. And that's when we thought, let's have a
So you
separate
basically
vertical.
saw a gap there that
100%.
clients are not really understanding that what is the total concept of entertainment design.
No, not necessary. Everyone may understand it, but may not be ready to pay for it. So as a planner, it's taken for granted कि तुमने तो अच्छा idea देना ही है. So we said, let's have a company which is only into giving the acha idea and also executing it as effectively as far as entertainment is concerned.
Fantastic. Why do you think that entertainments have really become a very big part of weddings today?
So I'll tell you honestly, it's totally a visual medium, and everyone likes storytelling. Like every bride and groom wants their story to be told in a different way. So storytelling is really the first part, and by default, the most engrossing way in which you can actually get everyone's attention is in the most entertaining format. So entertainment has always been a part of it, but storytelling has
yeah,
become.
that was actually my next question. So entertainment largely has always been a part of weddings in such a big way, or it's just more and more now?
I think the way costumes are designed and shows are, prepared, it's got far more professional. There's finesse. There's a movie like impact that we want to create, although it's a one take, unlike a movie in which everyone gets multiple takes. But the packaging has gotten better, and the kind of talent that has started doing weddings. I remember even now we do have a certain set of talent. There are some amazing opera singers, for example, that we have in India itself. When you'll approach them for performing at a wedding, they will actually tell you no. They're okay to do lesser gigs. They're okay to do corporate shows. They're okay to perhaps, sing at a club or a ticketed event, but they don't want to be seen doing a wedding. So you have it's an artist's perspective. They just don't want to perform to an audience that's 50% with them and 50% is busy chatting or having a drink. So you have those kind of artists as well. So to be able to package it, the struggle is enormous to get different talent to come and perform at an Indian wedding. It's run of the mill to mil hi jayega. Those who are doing it for money.
Something exclusive, something unique, which is like something which will actually stay in your memory forever. A story which has been told, which is going to stay with you.
Yeah.
And how should the families who are having these weddings, how can they decide what is the budget they should spend on the entertainment bit?
Wow. So it's a very macro point if you go to see. It needs to be broken down to first say like a process where you need to actually make most of the clients and families understand and aware that there's a difference between booking an artist and there's a difference vis-a-vis to actually designing the entertainment for an event. Both are very different things where somehow in India so far, I would say until the last 3-4 years, the trend was really simple. The focus was on keeping a certain budget for the artist, which meant a Bollywood star, or it meant a famous singer, or a famous music director who comes with a package of 4 singers. That would take away the maximum part of, say, anyone's entertainment budget. Very little was left for somebody who wanted to give a concept and tell a story. The story may or may not involve the family and couple and so on and so forth. So from those days to now, the focal having shifted to a large extent, especially in the large scale weddings. In smaller scale weddings, you will still see the focus is artist ko book karo. First artist and then the mood board for decor. I have seen so many of those kind of weddings also.
First artist and then the mood board for decor.
Yes, yes. So you still have a larger chunk of people who operate in that way. The shift has only started happening in the last 3 to 4 years. So in that way, I'll say we picked on it at the right time, where there's a growing awareness and exposure of the client towards designing a show. And that means sometimes we have stories that start from the invite, going into if function 1, 2, 3.
Start from the invite.
And that same concept is then taken till the last point where the grand Jaimal is happening. So that kind of storytelling also is there, where definitely you need a client who is not going to put a number to the concept and first be convinced that it's a very unconventional path to be able to keep the attention of your guests. See, as a client, you are happy because आपके घर में उस साल वही focal point है, ये शादी. From guest perspective, they are attending so many weddings. They're receiving invites from so many people that they kind of lose track. इसका RSVP हो रहा है, उसका हो रहा है. In all of that, to be able to break the clutter and stand out. That's when we start telling clients that if you want a story to be remembered, ideally allow us to start telling the story from the first save the date, and that needs to have that little movie like trailer which is going to keep that thing on. But उसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा नौटंकी और बहुत ज़्यादा budget भी जाता है, no doubt.
And it's a tedious process. It is not like an easy
Oh, it
process.
is. And there has to be a continuity factor. There has to be a lot of convincing from our end towards everyone in the family, because at the end we are, Indian families. It's not a decision of just the bride and groom. No matter what we say, yes, they have started dominating the decision-making process, but it still has to be accepted by everyone in the family. So,
but that's also our culture, like, सबकी हामी और सबको like accept करना, agree करना जरूरी है.
बहुत जरूरी है. So, what in your budget game that you were discussing, it really becomes a situation where we try to analyze what kind of scale of weddings that family has had before, a cousin's wedding or somebody's wedding. So we know what is the expectation of their guests who are coming. It's no more about just family को ये चाहिए तो कर दिया. We also try to understand पहले क्या क्या हुआ है. So you're not repeating any of that. पहले क्या क्या हुआ है also helps me determine how much they'll be able to
spend. But also
spend.
there is a benchmark set. There is already 100%. A standard set for it, and
yep.
you have to go above and beyond it.
Yeah.
For that wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. And largely it becomes a case of, perhaps taking into account how you want to divide, the budget that you have as a wedding planner. So because I've been a wedding planner, I understand that, and I know where not to push also. Because then there are chances as a company itself, you might not get the business because you're just talking in your la-la land, not understanding that perhaps the client doesn't have that bandwidth, yes. on what they want to spend. So a lot of understanding happens, say, in the first two meetings. And I believe that it's no point pitching an idea to someone without throwing in some thoughts, because those thoughts help you understand how much of a budget you really think this client will be able to push towards. And that then decides what you want to give in.
But the choices the clients are going to make, what are the choices that actually make a very big difference in the guest experience? The way the guests experience the whole event,
I think for me, it's always been a case of what suits their profile. I have never tried pushing a client to take something just because it's trending. So that's like the first big no. And unfortunately today, like I mentioned, because you have the brides and grooms who are always the decision makers, they are too enamored with what they see on social media. And that becomes a bit of a deterrent, where we try a lot to mold and explain them without hurting their sentiments, that this probably is looking great because you're seeing in a vertical frame. But when you're going to have 600 people looking at it, how much of it is actually, consumable
content? That is actually
content?
so true, because obviously they don't really have an experience, and they've seen one wedding, two weddings, some people.
Yeah.
And they want to have everything based on what they see on social media.
Yes.
Which is not 100% true.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing which you have to deal with these days.
Yeah.
कि like, अच्छा social media में ऐसा दिख रहा है तो हमें भी ऐसा चाहिए.
Yeah. A lot of it. मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा फेस ना इतना ज़्यादा एक्सप्रेसिव है, that if I'm just not convinced and the client is not getting convinced, now my frustration showed.
Yeah.
And then they are like, I don't think Marisha is convinced with what we are pushing for. So it works for me also, and sometimes I have my own team writing to me, ma'am, it's showing on your face.
No, but also you have to be honest, because you really want to deliver a product which is great, and which they don't regret, because you know that the decision they're about to make, they're going to regret it.
Yeah.
Because you know that when they are on ground and the wedding is happening, it's not going to look the way they are saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
True.
you are aware of it. That's why you have that reaction. It's actually in their favor. It's in their favor. So, Marisha, in 20 years, what is that most unique experience you have created for a client which you really fondly remember, and something which has really got you like the applause?
Wow. Lots of them actually, but I'll tell you about a very recent event which we curated as Nautanki. The planner is from Ahmedabad, and it just came like a via query. And they wanted to do a musical instead of doing a family sangeet.
Oh, nice.
So I was really excited, and they were as clear as we wanted to be based on Radha Krishna. Now, for me, a Krishna musical is usually something I would have done, say, at a Myra function, which is more or less a day event. I was a little concerned with the client's clarity that they wanted to do a Krishna musical as an evening show at an outdoor space. Now, if you know, the ones who are watching this podcast and listening to it will understand, an outdoor space to have a musical is by far the most challenging, because there are too many elements that can distract you. You don't have the silence of an auditorium or the discipline that you can't move out of your chair. The audience always has that option to step out. So it's very nerve-wracking as a curator as well, because the number of people, sitting at the end of 90 minutes is your true test. The client and the planner had, I think, visited some and attended about 27 Krishna musicals for the prior 4 to 5 months, trying to find the best fit as to what the client had visualized for his musical. And this was the groom's parents, their side of the family. So I came in a little late in that equation, because as Nautanki, we are known for curating customized storytelling and not necessarily have a product that's out there, buy one kind of a thing, buy all kind of a thing. So it was a journey where the client was like, but we've not seen what kind of a musical can she do. We've not seen. I said, I have nothing to show you. Short clip of one of the previous work that we had done. And I said, I know what I can deliver. So it's up to you. They went to see somebody's work, and I still remember this. At 10 p.m., they suddenly called me. They're like, you know what? You have to come tomorrow and meet and make a presentation. So I was like, okay, overnight we put our thoughts together. And it was just purely on the basis of the client's instinct that he trusted us to do this one. I kept convincing the client to go with a 45-minute format, because we know that, we are not able to look at a reel more than 30 seconds today.
The attention span is really,
so it was frightening, and I kept telling him confidently 45 minutes is enough, and he kept insisting that only if you are going to give me a 90-minute show are we giving you this project. So I took a little while. I discussed it with my director and my choreography team. I said, we should know what we are getting into. And he asked me what all we could put together. And eventually, we bagged the project. And we had only 30 days to deliver a 90-minute piece, which was unheard of. The previous time,
obviously you had to curate the music, everything. Yeah.
From the scripting, and something very beautiful which they told us was two things. A reference of Rajadhiraj, which the family had seen thrice. And luckily, I had just seen it a month prior to this meeting. So I knew what they had as an expectation. And the second part that they were very clear of is give us at least 3 stories about Krishna, which are lesser known, so that the audience also feels like, okay, I'm not just watching how Krishna was born, okay, Dahi Handi, okay, we all know all these things. So get us lesser known stories. So our research team, and we obviously have a lot of in-house strength when it comes to scripting and research, had a separate task to get onto. Language that is immersive, graphics that are very immersive.
What do you mean by language that is immersive?
Where you are speaking, you're showing a period which was centuries ago, but you have to keep a good balance between the understandability factor, because you also have a 25-year-old in the audience. The groom himself is 25. To the ones who are the grandparents generation who are judging you for the choice of words ki Krishna to ye bol hi nahi sakta hai. So to able to balance it, then to also have a little Gujarati coming in with maximum Hindi, a little bit of English because they had some delegates who were there, but we told them we can't do all mixture, but we can surely balance between a Hindi, Gujarati.
Krishna musical with a bit of English.
With a bit of English so that they're feeling like, okay, this is relatable. And I think that one stands out the most because for us and for the planner who's damn nervous, I know it, कि मैंने इसको डाल तो दिया है, but it's a test for all. And I think we all passed it with flying colors. And somebody who's associated with Raja Di Raj as a musical also happened to be in the audience.
Oh.
And getting a compliment from that person.
But did you know that?
No,
before
I didn't.
The show? Thank God. Thank God. That would be like so unnerving. So, this was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to attend a wedding which has a Krishna musical.
Yes.
And I've not had that opportunity. That's going to be great.
That is like more than 100 artists put together with actors, dancers, and a crew of 150 to manage all this.
Of course,
so,
the backstage
yeah,
crew is
costume,
the
props.
most essential. So, where do families tend to overspend on entertainment without really adding any value, honestly?
I don't know, it seems a little frivolous to think of it, and budget bhi us cheez ka kam hi hota hai. But I feel I'm so done with seeing welcome artists and ambience artists being used in a very cliche manner. Although the budget of that by far is the smallest if you look at the entertainment budget. But I think it's like a damn big waste because there is nothing new we make those artists do. I have tried as a show director in the last 3-4 years, try to pay them a little extra in order to make them do something different, even when they are just ushering a guest in. But because of the season time and because there's a buyer, and the demand is more than the supply. So they don't want to put in an effort to do anything differently, even if I'm ready to pay them more for it. So I feel that is a total waste because they go unnoticed. And it's like so predictable to have those Russian, Ukrainian girls over there. I have no idea why we take them, but I'm also guilty because there is just some clients who just insist on that. So that is one issue that I have. The other issue I have is not so much with what the client does, but as a show director, I have a problem, and a big one, when it comes to the tech requirements that the bands come up with. And that takes away the entire stage. So it's very difficult to inculcate something that
and
is...
And then I have a complaint. I want to complain. As an anchor, you have to fill in after they have done their tech rehearsal for 3 hours. They have to do it again, and they will take another 20 minutes, and you have to fill in and do what?
Yeah. Go and interact.
Go and interact. Please come, go and interact.
And the guests don't want to listen to the anchor. They're like,
they don't want you to talk. Yeah. You've done a bit of talking. You've had your conversation. It's just they also understand that you're killing time. Why do you take so much time?
So one is why that is something that is, again, their ask is genuine. But why are the tech riders so elaborate and not in proportion to the venue space and the number of guests? I have a problem with that. We get a common tech rider, chahe concert ho ya family function ho, 200 guest ho ya 800. The document that comes to you is the same. And when you try to speak about it, the bigger the art is, the more impossible it is. So we have started creating this awareness amongst clients that please listen to a planner or a show director before you give a signing amount to someone, because all these things, if ironed out at the right time, they're still negotiable. But if you've paid up in your excitement that, okay, I'm the client and I know I'm getting a better deal, I'll pay it, uske baad ka jo ripple effect hai, that is something that I feel clients miss out on. And then
that is the ripple effect which the planner and the show director feels, which the clients don't feel, and then they're like, kya hua? What's your take on celebrity performances at wedding, do you think they really add value, or is just like
क्या बोले बोले कि नहीं
बोले
बोले
बोले बोले बिल्कुल बोले बिल्कुल बोले.
For me, it's a 50-50. I think a celebrity should be got on board only if they are ready to get involved with the family and not make an appearance.
Backstage में अच्छा, what is the couple's name? They will ask you, what is the couple's name? Okay, okay.
Yeah, that becomes a bit of a very, I don't know, not a fair deal, but again, you have families who want it as a mention in their hometown कि भाई हमारी शादी में XYZ आके गए. So that obsession will always remain, but I wish that the managers and those teams who are managing these celebrities are okay to get, hand in glove with the show curators to be able to just make that event a little more special and more personalized. So you have artists like, say, Ranveer, or most recently I worked with Shahid. They are so forthcoming. They want to be involved. They want to do two things extra. You just give them, what you want to do. They will obviously filter it out and tell you what's comfortable and not. But they're so open to new ideas.
But because it is somebody's wedding, it is their
Yes.
special day. It's not about that artist that
Yeah.
day. It is about somebody's wedding, a couple getting married,
Yeah.
a family involved. So I
Absolutely.
think, they should be the focus point.
Yeah.
They should be the priority.
They should be, and when that happens, the output is really remarkable. But then, of course, you have some of our lovely friends in north of India, where you see that there is a full lineup, okay, of 6-7 celebrities. हमारे में क्या है in Mumbai, the client base is such that they're okay with 1 or maybe 2 celebrities per event. Over there, 6-7 ऐसी vanity vans में बैठे and they keep getting called again and again. So those kind of shows, I feel after a point there is no value add. By the time the 4th celebrity has come, the audience is already fizzled out because their shows start very late. The money that you pump in there, Visa is, I feel, if you pump in that same kind of budget into creating something spectacular where your set design, your food, okay, the experience that the guest gets
Yeah,
when they come in,
yeah.
and the entertainment. If these 4 things are matched up, if your 5 senses are adhered to, the same budget will have a much more lasting impact, and people will give that as a reference, and that will become the trend.
Because it is,
If more and more people
weddings
do
for
it.
me is so much about emotions, and as you said, the 5 senses and the 9 rasas,
Yeah.
like the 9 rasas of life, because that's what you're leading towards. A
Yeah.
wedding, a marriage leads towards the rasas you're going to experience in life with your partner,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, things should be according to, that should be the priority.
Yeah, but Pamela, what happens is at large scale weddings, emotions cannot be a very strong part of the driving force. Again, now I'm talking from
Yeah.
the client perspective, very frankly, because they have started using weddings as an opportunity to make a statement. Their anniversary, their birthday is not about them feeling happy that they have spent 30 years with their partner as much as it is about making a statement in their business circle that, hey, this is my stature. So I respect that, because at the end, if they're not going to spend that much, you and me will not be getting the kind of business we do.
Absolutely.
So what becomes very critical is, yes, the emotional angle, the emotions should be considered, but at the same time, we should be in a space where we are creating larger than life experiences, which I feel if a celebrity is brought in, it takes away.
Yeah.
The
the attention goes. Na? People want picture with the celeb then.
Yeah, okay, one more actor has come and performed, one more actress has come, but how does somebody even remember what happened there? Only if you try to create something new.
And this new and emerging trends have no end. So what are the new emerging trends at weddings now?
While what is trending is something that I frankly don't get into. In that way, I always have my blinkers on. So I'll tell you what we as Nautanki are really focusing on. We are focusing on the longer duration format shows, which becomes a quick replacement for anything that a planner would probably want to kind of put up in 2 hours of what a guest can sit through. So replacing, say, a family performance Sangeet with a show, replacing a Sufi night, which is what one expects, to something which is a mix of poetry, with performances. So that large format, longer format shows, I feel is something that will find buyers. And second interesting spot where we are working is a lot of curation for the most important moment, which unfortunately families tend to forget and get dissuaded, which is the fairas.
Fairas, oh yeah, that's so
The reason why we all gathered at a
That is so
destination.
beautiful, yeah.
So we got into curating that, and we did something very interesting recently with Parthiv Gohil, who is known for performing for the Ambani family, and also entertainment direction and designing happens, by him largely. And we got Baman Irani to come in as a narrator for the Fairas. Both of them put in their heart and soul, and as Nautanki, we conceptualized and scripted and put this piece together. And that was the ultimate moment when we felt we are absolutely in the right direction. And we had a seated audience who was equally listening and feeling engrossed.
It's so beautiful.
And we thought it's high time we, revive the reason why we're all
That
here,
is such
which is the
a,
Fairas.
that Fairas bit, I have had the opportunity to, describe a few things at the Fairas. Not that I can sing, but narrate a few things. I think that is so pure and so beautiful
Yeah.
and so intimate, and it's just like
It deserves
that
more
kind
time
of
and
attention. Yeah,
Yep.
it deserves that kind of attention. Absolutely. Why are acts like bhajan jamming becoming so popular, and even in weddings?
Are they? I don't think they are becoming popular in execution. There is curiosity. And I do see a lot of our clients also asking, even when I'm meeting, my planner friends from the fraternity, everyone is discussing it. I've not seen a very high conversion ratio yet. Personally, I'm not a very big fan of having that as a part of it. Anything that can be kind of attended to in a normal daily situation, I don't think deserves to be a part of my 3-day agenda. So if I want to do Baithak, I should go pay a ticket and go and enjoy it rather than invest my money into it as a client, and get people to enjoy a bhajan or a Baithak kind of a vibe, jo bahar waise hi available hai. So I'm not a big fan of that.
It's not exclusive. It's not exclusive to my thing, to my wedding.
Yeah, there will be buyers, of course, but I'm not a big fan of that.
How did you know that the design you've done, the curation you've done actually worked? How do you get that sense?
So when it didn't work, we realized that is how the journey started as Swaha, when I think it was our second event, and because I have a theatre background, तो मेरे अंदर वो musical का कीड़ा बचपन से था कि मुझे actually musical में act करना है. And I think the first musical we did extremely well. The second musical we got a little swayed in, और हमने उसको इतना amazingly लंबा कर दिया with a 7-course sit down, and for a Marwadi family, so it was total misjudgment. Will a Marwadi family understand small portions जो 7-course meal में आते? They are all getting tense. वो play को छोड़ के tension में आ गए कि खाना और है कि नहीं है. So we are thinking, what is going wrong? The other thing that went wrong, we went live with 20 actors. Okay, that meant that many mics on off situation in a venue of Mumbai जहाँ पे rehearsal time नहीं मिलता है, which is on ground, tech rehearsal जिसे हम कहते हैं. So after all those trials and tribulations, we started understanding what will work, what will not. For me, a seated audience is my judgment and parameter. And I have done enough now to not want to do anything. So now my events are more or less like a quick plug-in play. You cannot change anything. You can't come to me and tell me, अच्छा ये cut कर दो, anchor को डाल दो, वो नहीं होता है.
Anchor को
नहीं,
डाल दो.
which is like कुछ और when in doubt push the anchor.
When in doubt, kill the anchor.
So वो बिल्कुल नहीं होता है. But what I love doing is I feel anchors are artists first. जो कोई समझता नहीं है, but because I have been an anchor, I know हम सब में वो कीड़ा है. वो तो ठीक है, कुछ और नहीं था, या तो ये better paying था, इसलिए we all ended up doing
But
it.
honestly, you know, I will actually. It is beautiful to host a wedding.
Of course.
It is beautiful to be on that stage.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to tell the story. But sometimes when you're telling a story and somebody from down is like,
Yeah.
you know, you're also an artist.
It is.
It feels like, oh my God, you know, you're not even letting me finish my
Yeah.
because I'm actually, whatever I'm saying or whatever I'm designing is for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
I can just say, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, on to the next act.
Yeah.
But I want to bring that experience.
Totally.
So
Totally.
yeah. Thank you, Marisha. Thank you for that.
So what happens is, you know, your audience becomes like your test of how it's working, not working. How innovatively you use an anchor for me, whether I'm doing a musical or not, even if it's a short format, सिर्फ 15 minute का curation, what difference did the anchor bring?
Yeah.
For me is in a way my test. Because I know what the talent in our country is. I know their potential. I know they can play characters.
Yeah.
So if we are able to do that, I think it's a refreshing change, because I feel we've reached a situation where most clients are frightened, oh my God, if the anchor goes on stage, the anchor won't stop talking. And that hurts me. I know that we are not utilizing the talent. A flutist. You know, am I going to get him to play his usual set, or am I going to surprise and bring it as an underlay, live underlay, while the anchor is talking something to surprise the audience?
Absolutely.
So how you use this and that reaction is so instant from the audience, where
There's
you
so
know
much
that
you
it's
can do.
working. You know exactly that it's working. And eventual feedback comes to you, I feel. For me, it's always been the team at the console. They do shows in and out. They have worked with the best of talent. They are all my seniors. So my tech team, whether it's my light designer, whether it's the sound engineer, whether it's my DJ, they are the ones to whom I actually look up to, that I will get an honest feedback, and the most honest one from them, that picture hit rahi ya nahi. Because they've seen it all. They work with different companies, and they will actually give you constructive technical feedback, which always helps. So, but you have to be ready for feedback, which most people are not.
No, but I think in our industry, in like the event industry, the whole wedding and corporate events or everything, if we don't take each other's feedback, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
We'll not
You'll
be able to grow.
True.
Because if you tell me tomorrow that, Pamela, you should do it this way, and I'm like, oh, why Marisha is, that can't be the way.
Yeah.
You know, I should
So
take your
true.
feedback, because that's going to build me, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's where you are going right. You're taking the right feedback. What would be your most important advice to a family who are planning their wedding of their children, of their
I think it's since we have been focusing on entertainment and entertainment design, I'll give you just my quick suggestion. I think to any family is when you start off on the journey of deciding your destination and then zeroing down, for me, destination is also equal to the hotel that you're closing. Before that, you must be able to come to consensus that what is it that you want as a focal point? Do you want the focal to be a name that has performed at your wedding? Do you want the focal point to be the decor? Or do you want the focal point to be how you greeted and ushered the guests to their rooms, to what did you do at the airport? Once you have that, any one of them is also enough to make your wedding remarkable. Obviously, equal attention given to all other departments, but one is your focal point that you know that's my star. And then please involve professionals at the right time. Don't go and zero in on a hotel and then call in the planner and then tell him, you know, मुझे इस type का show करना है, because अगर वो lawn में space ही नहीं है, how you're going to get the grandeur. If that venue is not available to you 2 days before to do a setup, you will not get that big decor. So a lot of decisions can be taken rightly if you involve the professionals at the right time, and I think that can just change the story.
These
that you
guys are
tell.
professionals for a reason.
Yeah, and taking them at the right time. So
Yes.
everyone takes the professionals. Today, I
Yeah.
don't see anyone doing a wedding without a professional. But वो कौन सी stage
Timing.
पर उनको लाना है? Like I end up going for recce's now as a show director. I'm not called in at the last moment after everything is closed. They actually take me for a venue recce before they pay up to the venue to understand if I can do what I'm selling to them.
Yeah, yeah.
So at the right time is really the
It
game
is not.
changer.
It is no less than making a cinema.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
a film,
it's
a
a
movie.
movie. It's a movie.
It's like you have to take in account, and also at the same time, your audience
Yeah.
feedback is immediate. It's not like the movie is going to release and you're going to get your feedback. You're going to get it that very moment.
Totally,
So it's on.
totally.
I mean, I can go on talking to you. We will need 5 more episodes to keep speaking to Marisha. But thank you so much for coming in
Pleasure.
and sharing your wisdom and
No.
your joy with us. Thank you
No,
so
no.
much.
Thank you.
Marisha.
Thank you for this.
As we end this conversation here, what truly stands out is that weddings are not just about how they look, but how they are felt and remembered by everyone who's a part of them. And creating those unforgettable, beautiful experiences is what is truly makes all the difference. So thank you for joining us. I'll see you soon. Until we meet next time, we continue to bring you conversations that help you create celebrations that are not just beautiful, but deeply meaningful.